You're watching the Southland Conference on ESPN. Christmas cheer from the big country, Abilene, Texas, and a look inside the Teague Special Events Center. It's a crosstown matchup tonight. The Hardin-Simmons Cowboys and the Abilene Christian Wildcats. Good evening, everybody. Welcome inside the studio. Zach Carlisle alongside Andy Penny. Glad to have you with us. Well, Hardin-Simmons Division III, Abilene Christian Division I. That's the matchup tonight. Let's take a look at the impact players as we peek at a couple of highlighted players in this game. It's a good one. Kyle Brennan of Hardin-Simmons, Clay Gaiman of ACU.
Yeah, Gaiman for the Wildcats. He comes off the bench this year, the 6'6" junior out of Nevada, Missouri, but he's averaging 8 points a game, and he shoots it well from three at 48%, including 5 of 5 against East Tennessee State, and a team high 17. Kyle Brennan for Hardin-Simmons, the team leader in points, 14.2 points per game.
Yeah, can't wait to watch him go. Brennan, the guard, and Gaiman, that stretch forward as well. And we're getting ready to tip this thing off. And away we go from Abilene, Texas. And ACU got the first touch, and Colton Cole a putback attempt, and he gets the second one to go with an and one. We are off and running here at the Teague Center. Here is the starting five for ACU with Daniels and Reggie Miller, Corian Mason, senior guard, Joe Pleasant, and Colton Cole on the interior. Here's the 7-footer Cole, who misses the and one look. Starters for Hardin-Simmons, Aiden Walsh, Kyle Brennan, our highlighted player as well, Stephen Quinn, Neil Chambliss, and Chase Cobb, a former ACU Wildcat, converts at the rim for Hardin-Simmons, and away we go here tonight.
It's a battle of the strengths tonight for these two teams. ACU, as you can see on the inside with Colton Cole again. It's going to be the inside presence for the Wildcats. For Hardin-Simmons, they get up and down the floor. All 5 starters averaging double figures, 78.5 points per game. So we'll see some up and down tonight. We'll see the Hardin-Simmons offense versus this ACU defense, 8th in the country in defense.
Yeah, no question. That really was highlighted a couple of games ago when they played Texas Tech and held the Red Raiders to just 51 points. This defense is so special for ACU. I think the question has been on the offensive end, what that's going to look like the rest of the year. But we know how good this ACU defense is.
No question about it. Again, 53.3 points per contest on the defensive end. That's 8th in the country. NCAA Division I. They've held 3 opponents to less than 53 more to less than 60 and giving up just 53.3 points per game.
No, but there's the offense. It's Aiden Walsh for Hardin-Simmons. They can get up and let it fly. This is a very good Division III program here in Abilene.
Well, Walsh again averaging 11 per game.
There's Colton Cole again. This is what we're going to see. It's high flying up against ACU in the half court as in the look into the interior. We thought this could be a big game for Colton Cole tonight.
Yeah, Colton at 7 foot. Obviously the height advantage on the inside. Trey Woolridge off the bench for Hardin-Simmons is at 6'10". Also Neil Chambliss at 6'6" in the starting lineup. But so far it's been Cole, but the Hardin-Simmons offense looks good as well.
Yeah, that's Walsh. He's got 5 in a row. ACU goes quickly in, and there's Joe Pleasant with a putback chance. It's tapped around. Damian Daniels has been hot from the three-point line lately. This is a pull-up for a long 2, and he gets it to go.
That's a good-looking shot from Daniels the other day. ACU against McMurray on Saturday afternoon really struggled from the perimeter, especially in the first half. It was the inside game that carried them for a while until the offense got going. So good to see Daniels hit that outside jumper.
First foul of the game, driving in with Stephen Quinn. Back to that Daniels bucket. It looks like his jump shot is a little bit different this year. He hasn't needed it for the first couple of seasons, but he is really letting it fly this year, the junior. And it's a kick out and a look for Walsh again. He's got 5 early points. Offensive rebound and a tie-up, and that was Daniels who came in there and gets the arrow to the other end. Rather going to stay with Hardin-Simmons. Arion Simmons checking in. Makai Morris for ACU as well.
Well, again, the size advantage doesn't stop when Simmons comes on the floor. The 6'5" sophomore out of Little Rock, Arkansas. And ACU on Saturday against McMurray, 42 points in the paint.
That's Walsh again, already with 8 points. for the Cowboys, who had the early 4-point lead.
Well, this is a nothing to lose type game for the Cowboys. A game that they haven't had many Division I opponents on their roster, on their schedule for a long, long time. So nothing to lose mentality for the Cowboys.
Orion Mason missed the first and then draws a foul. And he's going to shoot 2 for ACU. 3 minutes into this thing, and Hardin Simmons has been fearless on the offensive side of the floor. 4 of their first 5 from the field and a couple of triples. Now it's Corian Mason at the line, senior out of Oklahoma City.
Tell you what's impressive about this ACU roster, Zach. Some people might not think this way, but nobody on the roster averaging double figures in points. I asked Coach Golding about that the other day. Is that an area of concern, or does that show you the depth of this roster? And he was quick to answer, hey, I love it. It shows our inside-outside complement to each other. If the inside's there, we're going to work it. If it's not there, we can shoot it from the outside. Corian Mason, one of those guys.
Yeah, they might not need a guy to score 20 points in a game ever this year because they're so balanced on the offensive side of the floor.
Which they have not done this year. We've seen Gaiman with 17 against East Tennessee State. We saw Logan McLaughlin off the bench score 17 against Howard Payne.
That's a floater, and Aiden Walsh is already in double figures for Hardin Simmons, 10 of the first 12.
Well, Matt Brackett has to love that, head coach of Hardin Simmons. Walsh comes in only averaging 11. He's almost there, just 4 minutes deep.
Reggie Miller in the corner. He's had a confident jump shot as well. ACU, really they have 2 point guards out there in the starting 5 with Miller and Damian Daniels, who can both handle the rock. That's a pick and pop type of play, and that is a charge up on Stephen Quinn, and there might not be a better team in the country at taking charges than Abilene Christian.
Well, you see that often all year long, and even the big guys get down in there, and it was Simmons to take the charge that time. So even with the height advantage and a size advantage, it's not necessarily to body up, as actually that's Mason, Mason to take the charge there, but something that the Wildcats do really, really well. Mason has the first one tonight.
There's Clay Gaiman off the bench. Going to take an awkward shot and almost went in. There's Simmons with a putback. So good on the interior. 6'5", 264 pounds. He is tough to move inside. In the paint, and that is Clay Gaiman working hard defensively.
Well, that'll be a key tonight. Hardin Simmons starts hot. When they start to cool off and the averages come down, can ACU hold them to one shot and done on the defensive end?
Gaiman double teamed. This ball is loose, and that's going to take us to the first break. Hardin Simmons, the early lead on the road. Well, Hardin Simmons has won 3 in a row. 4-2 to start the season, and off to a 12-10 lead here against their Abilene counterparts, the ACU Wildcats. An impressive start for HSU.
Well, it's been the Aiden Walsh show thus far. 10 of the 12 points. He averages just 11 a game, but the hot hand is he's 4 of 5 shooting, 2 for 2 from behind the three-point line.
Back door, good pass, and that rims home. And an and one for the Cowboys, and it's kind of everything going right so far. And that was Chase Cobb, the former ACU Wildcat.
Well, that's the second time on the offensive end. We've seen the backdoor cut to Cobb, the first possession of the game. Cobb able to make that exact same layup. This time he makes it, and a chance for an and one, which he completes.
They really thought he came along at the end of last year, double figures in 5 of his last 12 games. Points scored, and he's off to a great start this season.
Early on, ACU dominating the paint down low with their size advantage. I would assume that Coach Golding talked about that. There's a good-looking shot there.
That's Gaiman. Fade away on the baseline. Probably the reputation is he's just a three-point shooter, but he can back it down in the paint as well.
Well, that's Clay's game. If you can get him facing the basket from 12 feet out, he's got the ability to hit that jump shot from 12 to three-point range, but also drive to the basket and make the easy shots right at the rim as well.
Daniels was standing on the boundary, and it stays with Hardin Simmons. 67% from the floor. They've hit both of their threes. building some confidence on this end of the floor. That's a catch and shoot, and that's Cobb with a triple.
Well, no rotation. The defense had all made their way to the near side. There was no rotation. It was a good drive and dish. Cobb all alone on that left wing.
Now Simmons isolated. And that's a catch and shoot for ACU's shooter, Logan McLaughlin. We were talking before the game. This is a special talent for the Wildcats.
Yeah, Logan's an impressive freshman out of Louisville, Hebron in the Metroplex. He can fire from three. He's already scored 17 against Howard Payne. He's coming off a 10-point game against McMurray just the other day. He shoots 55% from three and off to a good start at 1 for 1 here.
Arion Simmons is left alone, and he splashes one down. ACU connecting from distance.
That's a good sign for the Wildcats. Struggled from behind the arc on Saturday against McMurray. 0 of 13 in the first half against McMurray from behind the three-point line, but back-to-back possessions, back-to-back threes.
Starting to see the three ball go down. Stephen Quinn, who missed a three the previous possession, goes in off the window.
Well, Hardin-Simmons not afraid to attack the rim. Points in the paint. Already 10 for Hardin-Simmons. 10 of their 20 have come from inside the paint, a number that ACU normally dominates against their opponents, but Hardin-Simmons off to a nice start.
Simmons, that's a tough look, but he gets that one to fall. There was no one to pass it to, but he finds a little bit of space.
Now three straight possessions offensively for the Wildcats. They've found points.
That will be the thing Hardin-Simmons wants to avoid tonight, are those miscues, but this is what they want to do. They want to keep guys open. Chase Cobb with a triple. Well, they've looked really, really good on the offensive end so far tonight.
Well, you're talking about an ACU team again, Zach, 8th in the country in defensive points per game at 53.3. Hardin-Simmons already with 20 out of the shoot here less than 8 minutes into this thing. But ACU firing right back at 20-20 time.
Yeah, this has been fun to watch so far, both of these offenses. Joe Pleasant, that's a long two. That's good. Boy, the ball's going in the rim right now. Both of these offenses are figuring things out.
Well, Pleasant coming off 16 points on Saturday against McMurray, his season high, and really took over that game when ACU needed a spark. It was a tight game at halftime. They needed a spark. It was Reggie Miller defensively and Joe Pleasant offensively that stretched that margin of victory out for the Wildcats.
Yeah, Joe Pleasant, the junior out of Overland Park, Kansas. Special talent for ACU. Got hurt a little bit at the end of last season. Missed the last 2 games of the regular year when ACU finished with the number 2 seed in what would have been the Southland Conference tournament. They're picked in that second slot again this year. Colton Cole, turnaround, got it to go.
Well, it's good to see Colton. He's been dominant in his few minutes tonight. Second on the team in scoring at 9.4, but Wildcats have gone to him early and often every time down the floor when he's been on offense.
Travel on Hardin-Simmons. Abilene Christian's on a 12-2 run and now leads by 4. A little surprising that these teams have not played in, what, nearly 50 years? It's been since 1971. These teams are less than 2 miles away from each other. There is Joe Pleasant with a hammer to get us started as ACU leads at 26-20. But, I mean, they're right down the road from one another. It's kind of funny.
Well, you know, these guys are probably ones that meet up together in the rec center or at the local gym or something just to make each other better. They don't get to do it competitively between their 2 universities very often. But you know these guys know each other well. They're basketball savvy. They love the game. I'm sure they've shared conversations, and tonight they get a chance to share the floor. Yeah,
it's really fun when 2 local teams like this get to play each other. McMurray University, the other one, that's been a game that we've seen on the men's side as well earlier a week ago as well. So it's Hardin-Simmons who's been hanging tough for sure. Their offense has been a lot of fun to watch. In the paint here, Trey Woldridge, the junior out of Porter, Texas, and he draws a foul on Abilene Christian. 26-20. We got a game that's been an entertaining one so far.
I'm not sure we thought we'd see the type of offense we've seen here in the first 10 minutes. Hardin-Simmons at 67% from the field. ACU at 69. They've outdone them. They've hit 8 of their last 8 on an 8-0 run.
That deep. That 3 is deep, rather, and it will Sprinkle out of bounds to Abilene Christian. Jackson Robinson, the freshman out of San Antonio. There is Joe Golding, 10th-year head coach of ACU. He has really done a spectacular job moving this team to a really good D1 school.
Well, you see what he's done over the past 3 years. Of course, the NCAA tournament 2 years ago. I think they had a chance to get there last year until the pandemic hit, and well on their way to compete for the Southland Conference title again this year.
So Colton Cole misses a dunk and then gets called for an over the back. Not the best sequence for big number 34 right there.
Well, to break an 8-for-8 field goal streak, you don't think it's going to be on a two-handed flush, but sometimes that's the way the rim works. But you have to give credit, though, to ACU. Hardin Simmons coming out, pistols firing, making a lot of shots. They're hot, but you look down at the scoreboard, and here's ACU with a 6-point lead because they've matched that. It has to be a little demoralizing for the Cowboys to shoot the ball so well here in the first 10 minutes, and they're still down 6 on the scoreboard.
Right, it was 18-12. Hardin Simmons, and it's been all Wildcats since, and that one breaks a stretch. It was a 14-2 run, and then a triple for Jackson Robinson to make it a 3-point game.
Well, you know the Cowboys aren't going to back down just with a 6-point deficit.
There's another one who can kind of be what the coaches call a sniper from the outside. Logan McLaughlin offline. Halfway point of the first half. Interior touch, good pass on that back door. And a finish. It was a great pass from Woldridge.
You know, when you're undersized a little bit, as Hardin Simmons does, it comes down to execution of offense. You know, you're not there athletically with ACU, toe for toe, person for person. So it comes down to execution. How well do you run the offense? Third time here in the first 10 minutes, we've seen a backdoor cut lead to a layup right at the rim. Good pass and finish there for the Cowboys.
Yeah, Trey Brown is 6'7" out of Austin, Texas. Got the rock here. 1-point game. That's a 3, and that is buried from the outside by Trey Woldridge.
Well, not the guy you would think would shoot the 3-point shot. He's only shot 2 all year long. He's 1 for 2, make it 2 for 3, and he's giving the Cowboys the lead back now on an 8-0 run.
There's Miller. Is that a charge? No, it's a defensive foul. And that was all about the location because that was underneath the basket. And they're going to go with the foul on Robinson. He was in that restricted zone underneath that arc.
And call it on the floor as well. I thought that was on the shot.
Right.
They'll call it on the floor. So Cowboys get it and keep the Wildcats away from the charity stripe. They'll have to inbound on the baseline.
There's Simmons who comes back in. He leads the Wildcats with 7 points so far. Limited minutes. Makai Morris out of Philadelphia misses the 3. This ball's loose, and I don't think they got the timeout in time. I think Miller was out of bounds, and that's the call on the floor.
What a great hustle there by Wildcats. Always love to see bodies on the floor. Reggie Miller, who's the spark plug defensively, puts so much pressure on the opposing point guard trying just to set up an offense. Already strapped for time with a 30-second shot clock. Reggie Miller creates so much havoc in the backcourt, leading into the front court, and right there dives on the floor. Great hustle play.
It was hard for them to pick just one person. That's one of their best defenders when you ask that question to the coaching staff. But Reggie Miller is definitely up there on that list for Abilene Christian. So many good defensive players for a team that's in the top 20 nationally in about 4 different defensive categories.
Well, Corian Mason just picked up a cheap one out on the edge of the perimeter. But no foul trouble. ACU's actually only had 1 player foul out all season long.
That's a steal and a layup at the other end. No one better at forcing turnovers and converting them into points. That was Makai Morris.
Good steal and finish. ACU comes in 8 turnovers less than their opponents. That's how many they cause on the defensive end, and look at that block.
Wow, Corian Mason. Second-year Wildcat. Thought Simmons would pull it, and instead he drives and dishes, and Miller has it stripped away. Now the ball's been poked away a few times, and ACU will try to settle down and go to Joe Pleasant.
Pleasant attacks the basket here.
They ran ISO on him.
Yeah, size advantage here with Simmons on the inside, but Morris on his way to the bucket. Good take there.
Morris showing some confidence. It's a unique story for Mekhi Morris, a senior out of Philadelphia last year, going on and doing his thing, playing 17 games, and then was hospitalized with intestinal issues and they missed the rest of the season for ACU. It got pretty challenging there for him. For a while there, they weren't sure what his basketball future was going to be, but he's been back out on the floor, and the senior this year has played in every game and been fun to watch, and it's good to just see him back out living life and doing things the right way.
Well, good quality minutes all year long this year for Morris. He's right at about 14 minutes a game. Points-wise, he's at 4 points a game, but he does so many intangibles for the team. Already for the Wildcats tonight in the scoring column, we talked about the balance offensively. Already 8 Wildcats in the scoring column. Nobody averages in double figures, but everybody contributes. And now Gaiman at the line after he's fouled. He'll shoot the 1-and-1 in the bonus.
Yeah, it is the 8th team foul on Hardin-Simmons. ACU's got 6 team fouls, so the Cowboys will also be in the bonus the rest of this first half as well. Got a long way to go, 8 minutes, and that one drops home for Gaiman. ACU, you know, there's one of the things that has definitely been a knock on them so far this season. Not a very good free throw shooting team. Gaiman is at the line right now for the Wildcats, who is making 2 out of every 3, and he hits both there. But ACU on the season, just 61% from the line.
Boy, in tight games, that'll be critical if you think about that. If you raise that 60% to 70, that's probably 2 to 4 additional points per game, depending on the attempts, which is 1 to 2 additional possessions in a tight game. So for the Wildcats, would love to see that number at the free throw line go up.
Good passing down to Joe Pleasant. He got trapped, well, and he found a little space, but that paddle was won defensively by Wooldridge. Catch and shoot 3 from Jordan Vicente is no good. Welcome back inside the studio. Zach Carlisle and Andy Penny. ACU with a 31-28 lead. These offenses are looking good right now.
Well, it was Hardin-Simmons who came out fast in a hurry. They had an 8-0 run, had an early lead. ACU responded with an 8-0 run of their own. We're up 26-20, and just when you think Hardin-Simmons might start feeling the pressure, hey, they're right back in this thing. They're shooting 61% of the Cowboys, but the Wildcats right behind them at 55%. We got a lot of points on the scoreboard, Zach.
Yeah, I did not expect to see a 61% shooting performance from Hardin-Simmons. Rather, 55 is off the charts good as well. These teams have looked really, really good. We've seen a little bit of tempo, which we thought we would see from Hardin-Simmons. I didn't expect to see that from ACU. I think we've seen that a little bit of them trying to get up and down the floor.
Yeah, really haven't seen too many half-court sets today. ACU started punching the ball to Colton Cole early, getting the ball down on the low block, but really the tempo has been up and down. The shot clock really not needed tonight. Both teams getting up and down the floor. I think the stat to keep an eye on tonight, we've always talked about the depth of Joe Golding's roster, and we're seeing it again tonight. Bench points already tonight for ACU at 17, so more bench points than from the starters at this point, and I think the depth will begin to show itself.
And turnovers have started to become an issue for Hardin-Simmons as well. They've got 4 turnovers in the last 2 minutes and 12 seconds of this game and have turned it over 8 times in this first half. But they get a chance here and turn it over for the 9th time.
Well, again, we saw the same thing on Saturday as ACU had a tough first half against McMurray, but really ramped up the defense. We attributed that to Joe Golding's halftime speech on Saturday at McMurray. Maybe he didn't wait all the way until halftime to have that speech, as the defense has been really, really good here the last few possessions.
Something like the first 20 points of the second half went to ACU. Is a spectacular start to that second stanza. Here is Corian Mason at the line. ACU, one of the few teams that starts 3 guards that are all left-handed. Reggie Miller, Damian Daniels, and Corian Mason, all 3 on the floor right now for ACU.
Which, believe it or not, for defenses, I think over the years you become kind of right-handed defensive heavy just because the majority of players are right-handed dominant with the dribble. But That's a good weapon to have, 3 left-handed guys in the backcourt.
Yeah, in theory, it sounds like that shouldn't matter at all, but it is something that is different. It's kind of like when you have a right-handed quarterback and then a lefty comes in and the ball's spinning the other direction. It's definitely unique for sure. ACU with a 4-point lead. Started to figure it out defensively last couple of possessions. Now Joe Pleasant inside. He lost it. Gaiman got it. Oh, it's a foul first.
Yeah, call foul on the double team coming over. I believe it was Stephen Quinn who came over in the help defense. Pleasant went to spin into the paint high side. The defense came over and Quinn and reached in, got a slap on the wrist before the pass out to Gaiman.
A double bonus rest of this first half, and it's Pleasant at the line. No good on the first. Pleasant's right at the team average of 60% from the stripe. Preseason first team All-Southland Conference after earning second team honors a year ago. Full court pressure from Abilene Christian, and it works. Daniels got a steal. Couldn't convert, but Gaiman, the putback chance, that's no good. A third opportunity as Miller punches it back out.
So now not only defensively with the pressure, but also offensively, second and third opportunities on the same possession.
Gaiman, fade away. That usually goes for him. But offline here, and look at Reggie Miller.
Look at the hands. Boy, that's impressive.
Wow. So active all the time.
That's 7 Cowboy turnovers in 3.5 minutes.
Mason was doubled. Just 5 to shoot. Pleasant got that to go with an and one with just 2 on the shot clock. And that was an impressive possession.
That will not go as second chance points because of the steal for another possession, but that's just hustle to keep that possession or at least that end of the floor alive, and a great bounce pass as you saw there to Pleasant, who finishes, and now a chance for a 3-point play. But it all starts with defense. They had some offensive rebounds and second chances. They don't get it, but they get the steal in the backcourt, which sets it up again, and that time Pleasant able to finish.
Joe Golding always saying there might be teams that are going to be more talented than us, but we're going to work harder than everybody. It sounds like coach speak, but you better believe it with this team because they do exactly what he preaches. And they currently have a 35-28 lead.
Now their largest lead here in the first half.
That ball's loose. That's a steal. It's Simmons, and they somehow keep it. Thought they'd give it right back, and instead, Simmons is going to shoot 2. It's getting a little chaotic at times out there.
Well, we talked about these guys probably know each other, only 1.8 miles between the 2 campuses. They've probably seen each other at the rec center or the local gym. And, yeah, the last few possessions look like some of those possessions you might see at the rec center or the local gym. A little bit out of structure, I guess is the right word to say, but ACU and Simmons the beneficiary now at the free throw line.
You better believe I've had 8 turnovers in 4 minutes at the local gym. That is going to happen with my game out there.
Yeah, you and I were in the same game. I think I matched you in that category. Boy, free throws again. It's just 7 of 16 here in the first half. That's extra possessions. It's a 7-point lead, but it could easily be in double digits here for the Wildcats.
They've been there a bunch. Hardin Simmons just 1 of 1. Barely seen the foul line. That's the 8th make, and that's Simmons.
And now full court pressure from the Wildcats. Keep the defensive pressure going. It's been effective here the last 4 or 5 minutes. A 10-0 Wildcat run. So they go with the full court.
It's been quite the scoring drought. Hardin Simmons foul on ACU. You talked about 4-minute segments. Hardin Simmons starts hot, and you see how that kind of tampers off as we go.
Yeah, we started logging that after the hot start. Obviously a media timeout about every 4 minutes, so we started logging that. Hardin Simmons with 12 points in the first 4 minutes. They followed that up with 8 more in the second. They followed it up with 8 more in the third. This segment, the 4th one, from the 8-minute timeout to the under 4 timeout, that free throw by Walsh, their first point in this 4-minute segment.
And this is Walsh, who is scoring for the first time in quite a while. He had 10 quick points for Hardin Simmons, and now gets a couple of free throws here as we approach the 5-minute mark.
And has surpassed his season average of 11 per game with point number 12.
Colton Cole somehow threw that ball up there. It draws a foul first. No matter what, if it's a shooting foul or not, it's 2 free throws. The double bonus here.
Well, that foul starting to add up as Cobb already with 3 fouls in the first half. Chase Cobb, who has 8 points. He started hot as well, but now 3 fouls and 3 more Cowboys with 2 fouls. And check that, 4 Cowboys with 2 fouls apiece. Brennan, Quinn, Chambliss, and Robinson all with 2 personals.
Yeah, they stop the on-screen stat typically at 10 fouls. They don't keep adding the number, but it's up to 14 already for Hardin-Simmons in this first half. Colton Cole, maybe a surprisingly good free throw shooter for being 7 feet tall. I blame Shaq for that miscommon fortune. Boy, tough take. Aiden Walsh, he can score the rock for Hardin-Simmons.
Good take down the left side, able to put that one in off the window about 5 feet out.
Daniels and Mason 2-man game. 3 short from Morris. Here comes HSU. They've kept it close the whole way. Just when you think one team gets going, the other one comes back. And Corian Mason going in there defensively.
Well, I think they called a block this time.
I think so.
Well, it was a bang-bang play.
What do you think?
But, well, let's see here. Yeah, may have got there just a tad late and maybe a little bit deep inside the arc there in the paint. Nonetheless, a good drive by Quinn to get to the charity stripe.
When it's that close to call, they probably tend to lean towards a block. We're seeing Emmanuel Allen check in for ACU for the first time. One of the more exciting players to watch, too. The redshirt sophomore out of Oregon. And this is Quinn, junior out of Dallas. It's a 5-point game with 4.5 to play in the first. Now a little pressure from Hardin-Simmons.
And give the Cowboys credit again when ACU builds their largest lead of the first half at 8. Here comes Hardin-Simmons. They get the Walsh layup a few minutes ago, followed by 1 for 2 at the charity stripe, and they're back within 5. Good entry pass there to Cole.
Well, you didn't think there'd be anything there, but a guy that's 7 feet tall, that was wonderfully done by Simmons, and Cole's the beneficiary. He's going to the line.
Well, I think it's Chambliss on the foul at 6'6". It's an easy lob pass, even with help defense on the backside. If Cole can just make that catch up over his head, nobody's going to have a chance to get to that thing. And now at the free throw line, that's 3 in a row from Colton. The interior presence starting to take shape here for ACU. That's now 8 points or check that, 9 points and make it 10 with the second free throw. He's into double figures. Pleasant with 7, Simmons with 8. So the Wildcats owning the paint here in the first half. 16 points from the paint. You add the free throws that have been made by the bigs as well. They're starting to take over down on the inside.
Cole's been to the line 7 times in this first half. Crossover. Kyle Brennan, very quiet. Haven't talked about him a whole lot so far in the first half, coming in as the leading scorer. And gets one to fall there.
Yeah, his first 2 tonight as the leading scorer.
That's going to be an offensive foul on ACU. The Wildcats have a 5-point lead, but it's been an entertaining first half in Abilene. Well, you can't give Hardin-Simmons enough credit. It's a 5-point game with just under 4 minutes to go in this first half. Matt Brackett's got to be pleased, the 4th-year head coach. And that lob on the inside off the inbound looked like was for Brennan, and now it's loose, picked up by ACU. But you figure Coach Brackett's pretty happy with what he's seen.
Well, no doubt in the offense, they have not shied away from shooting the basketball and shooting the basketball well. The defense has been good as well, but Hardin-Simmons with 35 points, still 3:40 left in the first half. The most ACU had given up in the first half of any game was 28 to the Omaha in their second game of the year. And here's Hardin-Simmons with 35, still 3:40 left in the first half.
Yeah, shooting it lights out.
But with all that said, ACU still a 5-point lead, so ACU going toe for toe and then some.
Brennan probably had a little more space to get to the hoop, and then Colton Cole sends one out of the gym. Just his 4th block of the season.
Well, that's a surprise.
Yeah.
But that was an emphatic one and an impressive one.
No question. Damian Daniels guarding Aiden Walsh. And here it is.
Yeah, here's another look at this one.
7 feet. That wingspan's pretty long, you imagine. But foul on ACU and free throws. That was Daniels for the second foul. And it's Aiden Walsh, the sophomore out of Katy, Texas. Last year just made 1 start in 21 games, and this year it's been a much more focalized point of this offense, and looked really, really good tonight. It's a free throw here. It's a 3-point game with almost 3 to go in the first.
Again, ACU big here. Simmons on the floor and Cole, so a chance to pound down on the low block. There's the entry pass.
Simmons one-on-one. Clear it out for the big guy. Now help comes over. The putback. Second chance. Who's got it? It's going to Hardin Simmons. There were bodies all over the place. Allen was one of them. It's going to go to the Cowboys.
Well, you get the look you want there, just don't finish. But good entry, good drop step there. Even with the help defense, just don't get it to go. And even the tip by Cole doesn't go. And then it's just hustle to get bodies on the floor. Yeah, and that's Allen right on the baseline. The last to touch it, or the first out of bounds to touch it, to give possession back to Hardin Simmons.
3:01 in the first half. A much higher scoring first half. To compare to what we usually see from an Abilene Christian game, the final score 2 games ago for ACU in Lubbock was 51-44. We're already at 40-37 here in this first half.
Well, we knew that would be a tale of the tape. Hardin Simmons at 78 a game and all 5 starters in double figures against this ACU defense.
That's a good take. And a conversion to make it a 1-point game. And it's Stewart. DJ Stewart has got a number change tonight. Typically wears 1. He's wearing 13 because his jersey situation wasn't ready to go. And that is a very wide miss from Joe Pleasant. Hardin Simmons can take the lead here, folks, with almost 2 minutes to go in the first.
It's been a game of runs. We've seen 8-0 run by both teams. We've seen a 10-0 run by Hardin Simmons, or by ACU, and now Hardin Simmons on a 6-0 had a chance for a lead, just didn't fall.
Brennan, catch and shoot. Junior out of Houston, leading scorer on the team, just 2 in the first half. Pleasant drawing a double. Tobias Cameron gets it back into Pleasant. Tough shot and goes off window in the paint.
Well, give Pleasant credit. That's a good repost. He felt the double team coming. He kicks it out to Cameron. Just resets. The help defense comes off. Cameron gives it right back to Pleasant. And a nice spin into the paint and finish with the left hand off the glass.
That's a foul on Abilene Christian. It's on Tobias Cameron. It's his first. Redshirt junior out of Gold Coast, Australia. It's going to result in free throws for the Cowboys.
We talk about some impressive stats tonight. 7 steals for the Wildcats, none yet for Hardin Simmons. Points in the paint, 18 for ACU, 16 for Hardin Simmons. That's pretty balanced. Tail of the tape, free throws. ACU with 21 free throw attempts in the first half. Just 8 for Hardin Simmons.
Brennan at the stripe right now. A couple of double-digit games. 17 in his career in terms of double-digit efforts. He's at 4 here in this first half, but they haven't needed him to be great on the offensive end. It's a 1-point game. It's been a collective effort for the Cowboys. McLaughlin lobs in. Pleasant. Extra pass. Oh, it got blocked at the 3-point line from McLaughlin. And with 90 seconds, Hardin Simmons has a chance once again to take the lead.
We've seen him be very successful in the pick and roll backdoor cut.
This 3 short from Walsh. We've seen them settle a couple of times where they have a chance to take the lead here on a couple of 3-pointers.
Yeah, Walsh didn't let that possession get very deep in the shot clock, settled for an outside jumper. He has had the hot hand, but you can get that shot anytime in the shot clock.
Corner 3, Miller. That's a big one for ACU to go back up 4.
Yeah, that's big, especially after Hardin Simmons missed a chance to take the lead. Miller, a good-looking 3-point shot in the corner to push it back to a 2-possession game.
That was the difference of ACU letting the offense go through the possession. Timeout's going to be called by Hardin Simmons. 4-point lead, 45 seconds to go in this first half.
And to me, Zach, right here, this is a good timeout by Coach Brackett. It's been a great first half, but you can't let it slip away, at least mentally right here. Hardin-Simmons, again, really nothing to lose tonight. They've played a great first half, but if something were to slip here and this thing slip away from them, turn from a 2-possession game into a 3, it might be hard for Matt Brackett and the Cowboys to recover. So good timeout here from the head coach to let's really set up this possession and get a good look.
Yeah, you know, this is a good program at Hardin-Simmons at the Division III level. 2019, they were in the American Southwest Tournament Championship game, picked second in their league this year. We know it's a Division III up against a Division I, but it's a good program that these Cowboys have built.
Yeah, no doubt. Matt Brackett in his 4th season has done a great job. As you mentioned, the championship game. They were back in the tournament last year in 2020, the American Southwest Conference Tournament. So he's built a quality program with some quality players.
Mary Hardin-Baylor picked to win that league this year, but Hardin-Simmons 2nd. Concordia, Texas 3rd, and Sul-Ross State picked 4th. And that 3 no good from Stephen Quinn.
About a 4-second difference here, game clock and shot clock. So we'll see if ACU runs it down, try to get, in all reality, the last shot of the first half. With a chance for a putback, a few extra seconds if they run it down, get a tip at the rim.
10 to shoot. They've got it in their freshman Logan McLaughlin's hands. Letting it go, just 3 to shoot into Joe Pleasant.
Boy, it's great possession there. You get a great screen away from the basketball. Pleasant wide open at the block.
Hardin-Simmons didn't get a field goal in the last 2 minutes and 43 seconds of the half. ACU leads it by 6, and the Wildcats had a very entertaining first half. We've got halftime on ESPN coming up. It's been a fun first half. Abilene Christian in front 47-41 over Hardin-Simmons here at the Teague Center. And we say welcome into the studio, Zach Carlisle alongside Andy Penny. I mean, are you not entertained? What a great first half. That was very surprising. Didn't see it coming, but it's been a blast to watch.
Boy, up and down the floor for both teams, and the ball going through the rim, which is always entertaining to watch, as you said. And it's really been a game of runs today. Hardin-Simmons came out guns a-blazing and made their first couple of shots, built a lead. Hardin-Simmons with the early lead, but then ACU came right back. Were able to get on a 10-0 run, and they built their largest lead of the first half at 8 points. And just when you think maybe Hardin-Simmons will crater a little bit, they come right back and they push it back to a 6-point game.
These are the halftime leaders, and it's kind of been a tale of 2 stories. Joe Pleasant, Colton Cole on the interior for ACU, both in double figures, and Aiden Walsh has been lighting it up for Hardin-Simmons.
Yeah, no doubt. The points in the paint for ACU with the 20 first half points in the paint, 21 between those 2 guys, Pleasant and Cole. And it's just a size advantage. Cole at 7 foot and Pleasant at 6'8". But what's the great equalizer in an inside game? Behind the arc, the 3-point shot. That's been Aiden Walsh where he's lived tonight. As you can see, 5 of 7 in that first half, 2 of 3 from behind the 3-point line, 4 for 4 from the free throw line. He's already matched his season high this year in 16 points. He did that in game number 1. He's already matched it here in game number 7 for the Cowboys.
Yeah, he has been so fun to watch. The sophomore, just a sophomore, out of Katy, Texas. And you go in thinking it's going to be the leading scorer, Kyle Brennan, and some of these other guys for Hardin-Simmons, and instead it's a guy like Aiden Walsh who has been fearless. And I think that's a good word to describe Hardin-Simmons. The entire first half has been fearless. They have been out on this floor, ready to play from opening jump.
Nothing to lose mentality, shooting 50% from the floor, 14 of 28, 5 of 11 from behind the 3-point line, and 8 of 9 from the free throw line as well. So nothing to lose mentality for the Cowboys, but ACU punching right back, and they've had a good first half as well.
Yeah, no doubt. Hardin-Simmons team has won 3 games in a row at 4-2 on the year. ACU 6-1, and it's been they came off that first loss to Texas Tech and then bounced back with a dominant win over McMurray. And it's almost been a similar story. It was a much lower scoring first half than it was here tonight, but it was a dominant start to the second half for Abilene Christian against McMurray last Saturday. Is that the story that we write here tonight as well? Just 6 points, but the key might be that first 4-minute segment of the second.
Well, it's a mirror image of what we saw, as you said, against McMurray. It was 29-24, 5-point spread against McMurray. But tonight, a 6-point spread here against Hardin-Simmons. The offense, obviously, higher than it was Saturday against McMurray. But as we talked about, we watched Hardin-Simmons in 4-minute stretches here in the first half, and it dwindled every 4-minute stretch. They scored 12 in the first 4 minutes, 8 in the next, 8 in the third segment, but then it dropped to 7 and then 6. Is that fatigue setting in? Is that screwing down the screws defensively for ACU? We shall see, but I think the depth of ACU, you'll start to see that as we did on Saturday against McMurray. I would guess we'll see something similar here against the Cowboys.
Yeah, and a lot of it's going to be the Abilene Christian defense, too, because they have forced turnovers and have been able to make it happen. And if they're scoring from the outside, that defense tends to just wear you down in the second half. We've seen it against everybody this year. So, yeah, I think fatigue and the latter part of the second half. But you're right, though, Hardin-Simmons has nothing to lose in a game like this. And I think that's what's fun about these types of games. It's two teams that probably know each other, like we've mentioned a couple of times. They're local. This is kind of a little rivalry that doesn't really happen, but it's fun to watch. And I've been so entertained in this first 20 minutes.
Yeah, no doubt. And, the execution of Hardin-Simmons offensively, they really ran some offensive sets well. We saw some backdoor cuts lead to some buckets. We saw some pick and rolls. But as you can see, ACU did a great job, and it was getting the ball to the inside and then some inside-outside. But there's a good-looking fadeaway shot from Clay Gaiman, the player we featured before the game, but really it's the inside-outside game, and even inside-outside back to inside to get it to the big players, like Gaiman, who's had a nice first half. Arion Simmons on the inside with 8 points too. So a lot of quality minutes from a lot of quality players for the Wildcats 5 feet in tonight.
Yeah, it's really kind of fun to watch. We didn't talk about it in the open, but you and I talked about it off air, that in their first 7 games, 6 leading scorers for ACU in those games. It can be any person on any night. They might not have a guy go off for 18, 20, 21 points, but it's that collective effort, and they feel confident that they can put the ball in any one of their players' hands and feel good about what the outcome is going to be.
And Coach Golding mentioned that in a previous conversation I had with him. Again, I asked him, do you like the fact that you don't have a player in double figures, or do you like the fact that you have depth as far as offensive production? And he was all about, I love the fact that I have depth and offensive production. When teams take away the inside, we can still shoot it from the outside. Our goal is to get, obviously, as close to the rim as we can, but we can still shoot it from the outside, and they've done that again tonight.
Off we go with the second half. Corian Mason gives for Arion Simmons. Wow, not so close on that one, but those two are out there with Pleasant, Miller, and Daniels. That's a take, and that's a tough one. And that's an and one. And welcome to the party, Kyle Brennan, who had kind of a slow offensive first half, but he starts the second half with a bang.
Not the offensive possession you want for ACU. Early in the shot clock, Simmons from the outside, not a good look. You can get a better looking shot than that. The Cowboys come right down and get a shot. And maybe the most fearful thing for ACU here in the second half is the fact that Kyle Brennan, the leading scorer for Hardin-Simmons at 14, didn't have a great first half. What does his second half look like?
And that's an offensive foul on Joe Pleasant. Stephen Quinn taking what goes down as a charge.
Well, Pleasant gets on the low block. It's good entry pass, but yeah, as he backs down and tries to get even closer with position, good job there to take the charge by Quinn.
So you got Aiden Walsh with Brennan. Go along with Quinn and Chase Cobb and Neil Chambliss as well for the Cowboys, the starting 5 of this second half. And Chambliss with that putback attempt is no good. I think what's been most impressive to me is that Hardin-Simmons has yet to let this not once get out of hand. And this is a really good take from Corian Mason, who had just 3 points in that first half.
Good look there. We saw the backdoor cut from Hardin-Simmons in the first half. How about a spoonful of your own medicine there? Good looking pass there, Simmons to Mason, cutting to the basket. And as you mentioned, the southpaw with the left hand, the dominant hand on the left side of the glass. That's an easy finish and a chance for a 3-point play.
Boy, these bigs can pass for Abilene Christian as good as anybody. We saw Simmons make a spectacular pass to Colton Cole in that first half, and he does it again here, and it's Mason who gets the 3-point play for the Wildcats.
And not only can they pass, but they can shoot from the perimeter as well, which stretches the post defense out 15, 20 feet from the basket, which makes those cutting lanes for the guards and chances to finish.
Defender fell down. Doesn't matter. They'll guard all the way out to the half-court line in the half-court set if they have to. Cobb goes inside. Chambliss, left hand. Oh, it sat up there forever, and it doesn't drop. So the lead is 7. The largest lead has just been 8 for ACU. Daniels trying to change that. 3 no good, and the putback for Simmons, and he was wide open.
I'm not sure where the post defense was in the box out there, but you're not going to find too easy of a 2, much easier than that of a 2 down on the inside for Simmons.
I don't even know if that's crashing the offensive board. He didn't have to battle with anybody there.
And he's the 3rd Wildcat in double figures. It's all the big men tonight. Pleasant with 11, Cole with 10, now Simmons with 10.
That's Daniels with good help side D, and now a charge. And that is another call on Chase Cobb, the former Wildcat. You know this one means something to him, and it's his 4th foul of the game. But this is the putback, and Simmons, I mean, that works.
Thank you very much. I'll clean that up. Well, that's a big foul on Cobb. Cobb's had a nice game tonight as far as shooting. He's 3 for 3 shooting the basketball, but his minutes are down because of foul trouble, and he'll have to sit again for an extended period of time. Here now with 4 fouls and 17 and a half to go.
Abilene Christian with their largest lead at 9. Here's Daniels. And that's back to Simmons. Boy, Simmons has had such a huge impact in this game. The sophomore out of Arkansas, he's going to go to the foul line.
And the half-court set for the Wildcats here in the second half looks really good. They're executing very well. They're getting the ball on the inside. They're doing it courtesy of the dribble drive. We saw the backdoor cut a minute ago. Continue to feed the big guys on the inside with the size advantage. And now Simmons at the line, chance for 2 more.
24 points in the paint in the game for ACU.
22 free throw attempts to Hardin Simmons 10. And that, again, is just a size advantage you see on the inside where sometimes opponents, all they can do is foul, make you go earn 2 of them from the charity stripe. And we've seen a little bit of that tonight. And here's where ACU, again, if they could take advantage of getting to the charity stripe, they're right on their average, their season average of 61% from the charity stripe. If they can up that to 70, 75% throughout the season, they're going to put a lot of teams away from the charity stripe.
Simmons was 2nd on the team as well in rebounding last year, and he's got a game-high 7 boards for the Wildcats tonight, who have their first double-digit lead at 11.
And it's a 7-2 run to start the second half.
And this ball's loose. Simmons helped create that. Here comes Daniels. Goes with the right hand on the other side. And that forces a timeout called by the Cowboys. The lead is up to a baker's dozen for Abilene Christian. They're starting to feel pretty good on a 9-0 run over the last minute 37.
And you saw defense to offense there. It's just an easy steal for Daniels. Look at the little screen there. I hate to call it a moving screen, but a nice job by Simmons to run defensively with the transition defense and just leave that lane for Daniels, who decided to go reverse there despite the left-handed dominance on the left side. He put a little flair on it. It was a great finish, defense to offense. Again, 13 turnovers forced by ACU, and now 19 points off of those turnovers. And ACU starting to take advantage of this one now with the 13-point lead.
Yeah, Daniels only stands at 5'7", but plays with a lot of confidence out there. He almost in every single game he plays, he's the littlest guy out there on the floor. But he doesn't let that slow him down at all. But the Wildcats have pushed this lead up to 13 points. And we say welcome back in to the studio, Zach Carlisle and Andy Penny. And we thought the first few minutes of the second half would be important for both sides. And Abilene Christian starting to find their groove.
Yeah, tail of the tape in the second half here. And what halftime adjustments will Joe Golding make? We've seen him make those halftime adjustments in previous games leading up to tonight, and it looks like the halftime speech and those small adjustments that the Wildcats have made starting to pay off here in half number 2.
Yeah, they're off to a 9-2 start here in the second half. And again, it was the same situation that we saw last Saturday against McMurray, but I am curious with the Chase Cobb situation, with him having the 4 fouls. I mean, this game's got to mean a little something to him, doesn't it? He was on that roster that won the 2019 Southland Conference Tournament and made their way to the NCAA tournament now in his second year with Hardin Simmons. So it's probably eating at him a little bit that he's not been on the floor.
Yeah, probably so. Of course, he knows these guys on the ACU roster better than anybody, being a former teammate, and what valuable experience I'm sure he gained through that NCAA tournament run as a member of the ACU basketball team that he has carried over to Hardin Simmons with this new roster of players that he plays with for the Cowboys, and some of that showing just the competitive spirit of this Hardin Simmons team.
There's Brennan. That's no good, and there's Simmons with his 8th rebound. It's on this end of the floor that Abilene Christian has really executed wonderfully. And there's Reggie Miller open for a 3. Oh, and Pleasant tracks down the O board.
14th offensive rebound for the Wildcats.
Joe Pleasant's going to go to the line, and it just seems like every offensive rebound ends up in free throws for ECU.
Well, again, with the size disadvantage, and normally not necessarily on that possession, but with the positioning where you normally find an offensive rebound, sometimes the last resort that the defense has is just to send the offensive player to the free throw line and make them earn it from there. Although that one, Pleasant found 10 to 12 feet away from the basket, put the ball on the floor, and was able to find a seam and get to the rim. Didn't make the shot, but gets back to the charity stripe.
ACU is 15 of 25 tonight from the foul line, but it's really playing out kind of how we thought in the game. You figure Hardin Simmons is going to try to shoot the ball from the outside, go quick, and you figured ACU was going to look inside, and it has completely turned out that way. Boy, that's a friendly bounce for Joe Pleasant. It's been all bigs tonight for ACU, and their lead is 14 points.
You see the pressure extended now all the way to the half-court line. Reggie Miller does that so well.
Miscommunication here. Trey Brown looking for that backdoor cut, but Walsh didn't go backdoor.
Boy, and it was there, too. The lane was there as far as to drive the baseline and make that pass, but the cut not made and another turnover.
There's the lob. That's Cole, and he finishes inside, and it might have been a better pass from Damian Daniels.
Well, again, it's 7 foot and the height advantage, no help defense on the backside. That's an easy lob and an easy finish.
There's Brown again, sophomore.
It's a 12-2 run now, Zach, here to start the second half.
Starting to pull away are these Wildcats as Walsh misses the offensive side. Yeah, just the 2 points has dipped the shooting percentage down to 44% for the game for Hardin Simmons. That 3 offline from ACU. Here comes Walsh and company. Ooh, deep 3. Trey Brown hits a tray from distance.
Well, that's a good-looking shot. Not afraid to pull it from about 23, 24 feet out. Nothing but the bottom of the net.
If you're a shooter, you got to have that confidence. Your next shot is your best shot, is it not?
And again, the three-point shot's a great equalizer. Hardin Simmons shooting it at 50% tonight, 6 of 12.
Pleasant one-on-one. They've ISO'd him a lot at the top of the key. Oh, and that almost rimmed down. The Cowboys catch a break.
That's good looking for Joe to put the ball on the floor there with change of directions with the dribble, create some space. And, yeah, if he can hit that 18-foot jump shot, a lot of defenses are going to be in trouble.
Yeah, how do you guard him?
Yeah.
Almost impossible. That ball's poked away. ACU's going to try to run here. Miller gets it up ahead, and Mason spots up for 3.
Chance to run for the Cowboys.
Oh, a mishandle. ACU gets back so well. One of the many things they do well defensively. Here goes Brennan. Great take.
Yeah, Brennan not worried there just with the size advantage at 6'3". Had Cole guarding him, but away from the basket about 12 feet out. And Brennan with a quick step with the dribble, just able to get around Cole, get to the rim on that right side, use his body as a kind of as a screen to keep Cole on his backside, and he's able to finish. Brennan's starting to get hot. He's just had 4 points in the first half. He's got 4 more here in the second half for 8 total.
Ooh, this time Pleasant trying to handle it. Keeps it alive. Who touched it last? It's going to go to Abilene Christian. The Wildcats have an 11-point lead here on this Wednesday night.
My favorite thing TV is that we're telling a story, and we're telling ACU's story through the perspective of students and for students, and I think that's just a really unique experience.
To work at ACU TV is probably the best experience you will get in a college setting.
Being able to do it for football games like out here is like, for game days experience, it was awesome. Being able to see your shots and then being able to look back at it and saying like, wow, that was my shot, it was awesome.
So in my experience during basketball season was amazing. The work on the floor, getting to teach people, and then also getting to be right there with the basketball players. I couldn't compare it to anything I had done before.
ACU has given me so many opportunities that I would have never had at another school. As soon as I started my freshman year, I just dove straight into it. They let me technical direct for ESPN games. I started making features that were shown on ESPN.
This is something that almost no university in America can really offer to their students. To be able to go on air on ESPN and ESPN production for a college student is something that a lot of people don't even think is possible. But here at ACU TV, we're given that opportunity. We're given an opportunity to grow and just be able to experience an atmosphere unlike any of us have seen before.
For us to show that this campus is more than just football or more than just basketball is so important.
We're here for the campus. We're here to better the community and show that ACU has a lot of great things going on.
And something that I think is super exciting and really beneficial for the ACU community is we do everything. We have a little bit of something for everybody, and I think that that kind of just elevates in saying we're focused on everybody in community as a whole, and I think that that's really important, and ACU TV does a really good job of showing that.
My favorite thing about ACU
Hardin Simmons. Got UT Dallas up next. Wayland Baptist. It's an interesting schedule for what the American Southwest Conference has come up with this whole COVID season, trying to get as many games in as possible. The season started in November, on November the 25th, and they've pieced together kind of a unique schedule than what you normally
It is
see.
for Hardin Simmons, McMurray, Howard Payne, all in the American Southwest Conference. They play each other as conference opponents, but in this year of pandemic, a lot of the non-conference games for those guys are against conference opponents. They don't count as conference games, but it's a way to get games in. They make sense geographically with short distances, just like tonight does, where we talk about two teams here in the Abilene area, just 2 miles apart. They haven't played in so long. They get to play tonight, but really that's the entire Hardin-Simmons non-conference season, are familiar opponents that they see throughout the course of a conference season as well.
Yeah, you can make the walk down from Abilene Christian down to Hardin-Simmons. You'll run into the Taco Bell, and then you'll run into the, to the campus right down the street on Ambler Avenue. That's a loose ball and a steal. It was after a foul on Corian Mason, and that's Reggie Miller in transition.
Oh, that's a great finish. Great finish for Reggie. You know, Reggie's not your typical scorer, just 5.5 a game. He does the defensive work. He does the point guard work. And anytime you can get shots like that in transition, well, that's a beautiful shot.
Boy, what you want to talk about a beautiful look and take. That's Trey Brown, who's hit one from 24 feet earlier and then goes with a little finger roll. That's an and one, and it's Makai Morris for Abilene Christian. That was nice.
I got shot fake, get the seam, go all the way to the basket, draw the contact off the window. I tell you, Zach, for me, when I think about X factor for the Wildcats, Makai Morris comes to mind for me. He's a guy I think can be a game changer on any night where you have the consistency of the bigs, you'll have the consistency of your guard play. I look at guys like Makai Morris of any given night. That's a guy who could really turn the tables on a game.
He can just mix it up on both ends of the floor. There is Miller. He had it blocked, but it's a foul. Trey Brown got a hand on it, but the body was in there too. And free throws for number 10 in white, Reggie Miller. They may have gotten Woldridge on that. No, I think they got Brown. Here comes free throws for the senior out of Houston. At one point this year, that bugaboo could come back to haunt these Wildcats. The free throw line.
28 attempts tonight, compared to just 10 for Hardin Simmons.
And 12 misses.
Now 17 of 29.
Reggie Miller leaves. Damian Daniels checks in, and a 14-point lead for the Wildcats, who have held Hardin Simmons to just 9 points so far in the first 7 minutes of the second half. That is a catch and shoot three, but it's a catch, take a step and shoot the three, and that's a travel on Jackson Robinson.
He's getting big minutes because of Chase Cobb foul trouble. Robinson having to try to carry the load offensively.
To go from Cobb, the senior, with all that experience, to the freshman Robinson playing in his 7th collegiate game. Clay Gaiman at the top. No good on the three. Abilene Christian 3 of 14 from the three-point line. They came in this season with a 39% clip, which was top 40 in the nation. Good spin from Brennan. And he gets it back, 10 to shoot, rising fire, travel.
Just moved the pivot foot on the shot fake before he put the ball on the floor to get the turnover. Turnover number 19 now for the Cowboys, compared to just 7 for ACU. 29 free throws tonight. Zach matches a season high for the Wildcats. Had 29 against Austin Peay earlier this season and shot the same 17 of 29.
ACU was a very impressive start to their season with 3 wins in Florida. Austin Peay, one of those. That's Arion Simmons. Maybe the player of the night for the Wildcats. He's got 14.
When you get buckets like that from Simmons and Pleasant driving from top of the key to the bucket, those are big buckets. That's quality.
Then you got Aiden Walsh in a blink of an eye coming back the other way.
New season high for Aiden with the bucket. 18 now. He's still the only Cowboy in double figures. He's been impressive. Brennan has 8, and 8 for Cobb as well. 7 for Brown.
Here's Daniels. And he's been getting those open looks so far this season. He's hit, but tonight he is 0 for 3 from the three-point line. There was contact up there, the baseline, and hopefully
that's Walsh, a little slow to get back.
Injury. Still only 4, and there comes Walsh. It took him a second. Now he's running the other direction. That was a little out of control, and no foul call.
Yeah, Robinson tried to draw the foul on the shot, but refs do not award it. So it looks like just a crazy shot, crazy attempt at the rim.
Yeah. Here's Gaiman. Well, he kept his positioning without traveling, and that turns into a foul. And it's going to be free throws for Reggie Miller on the other side. Arion Simmons, the highlight tonight. 14 points for ECU. The upcoming slate for ACU, they're going to go to Arkansas, who's been receiving votes in the top 25. That's on Tuesday. Dallas Christian at home, Lamar at home to open Southland play January 2nd for heading to Houston Baptist on the 6th. And I'm fascinated by that game at Arkansas. That'll be a good measuring stick for these Wildcats.
Yeah.
They've already played Tech well.
Yeah, just lost by 7 on the road at Tech. They'll get a chance to go into SEC play and take on the Razorbacks, as you can see, receiving votes in the top 25 at Fayetteville. But I remember talking to Coach Golding about a week ago after that stretch where they played 3 in Florida. They came back, they played Howard Payne and then Tarleton and then Texas Tech. They played a lot of games in a short amount of time. He was ready for this week with the midweek with Hardin Simmons, but really that's it. Now 6 days until the game at Arkansas. He was ready to get some practice time. He goes, we've been playing a lot of games but hadn't had a chance to really practice and work on some things. But this 9-day stretch with just the Hardin Simmons midweek game this week, he was really excited about just getting the practice time. So even after tonight and then 6 consecutive days of practice, it'll be fun to watch him play in Fayetteville.
Yeah, that game at Arkansas will be on the SEC Network Plus, and that is Joe Pleasant with an and one chance after the foul on Chambliss. Pleasant's made his presence known tonight in the interior.
Well, again, it's just second chance opportunity there. Just tip it up off the glass and a little contact as he tips it up again. More points in the paint, 36. More second chance points now, 15. And another chance to go to the free throw line with now a season high of 31 team free throw attempts, about to be number 32. But Joe following up the 16-point game on Saturday versus McMurray with 14 tonight.
And Pleasant has taken a game-high 12 shots from the field. He's also been at the foul line 6 times, and the lead is 16 for Abilene Christian. Halfway through the second half, it's the Southland Conference on ESPN. Zach Carlisle, Andy Penny here tonight in Abilene, the Teague Center. In the paint, this ball's been pinballed around. And I thought maybe a travel. But instead, it's an and one for Will Bartosik, the freshman out of Rockwell, Texas.
Well, as disjointed as that offensive possession looked, it finished the exact same way. Bartosik just drives the baseline, gets the shot up, contact. As I believe that was Morris who tried to take the charge down on the inside. Just does not get the call, and chance for a three-point play.
Got Bartosik, who has been in limited minutes really all season long. The freshman who has matched his season/career high with this bucket here tonight. But he rims out that free throw. This has been, at the end of the day, wonderful experience for Hardin-Simmons. These guys are getting, that will take them into the rest of their season.
Yeah, no doubt. It provides a confidence as there's a good drop step and a finish down on the inside by Manuel Allen. But it gives just that confidence of we can play with a Division I team and a quality Division I team in ACU. When they get back into Division III and American Southwest Conference play, they'll remember a night like tonight and the good things that they did.
Reggie Miller with the foul. Yeah, if you can play this well against an opponent like this, think about what you can do in that American Southwest Conference NCAA Division III. Miller with the foul defensively, and I think it's his second of the night.
And still on the night, shooting 50% are the Cowboys at 21 of 42. It's just been the turnover bug that's really hurt them tonight with 19.
Yeah, that was a nice handsy play by Emmanuel Allen, and now the foul. Miller trying to creep around, and there's a couple of options there for the foul. I think it might get Brennan. This will be bonus 1-and-1 free throws for Abilene Christian.
We'll see a lot of free throws, continued free throws here for the Wildcats, already with the season high of free throw attempts at 32, and we'll see majority more here in the last 9 minutes now in the bonus.
Reggie Miller probably does so many things that just that there aren't numbers for. So his stat line, I don't think on any night will ever be the most impressive thing you see out there on the floor, but Coach Golding of this team emphasizes so much. They want guys that do the little things well, and there's nobody that characterizes that more than Reggie Miller, who hits a couple of free throws.
Well, when you look at your point guard, you want to have more assists than turnovers, which he does. He has more assists on the year than turnovers, more steals on the year than turnovers. He's creating additional possessions by his defensive play. Yeah, it won't be the points and rebounds for your point guard, but if it's assists and steals, you'll call that a good day. John Stockton made a career out of that.
Yes, he did.
In Utah.
One of the great ones. That was, there was Quinn in there, and then there was DJ Stewart wearing the number 13 tonight, freshman out of Houston. This will be an inbound on the baseline. Box set.
Cobb back on the floor, even with 4 fouls. He had the hot hand early.
Tough take. Oh, did he foul out? Did they get him or did they get Trey Brown? I think they got Brown. A rebound attempt.
Yeah, I think so is the way Brown reacted to that. Not a fan of the foul, but I think he's charged with it. Of course, Chase Cobb wiping his brow saying, whew, thank goodness that wasn't number 5 on me.
Because there wasn't much there, but there was just a little bit of contact in that situation. It's always on those rebound attempts. Get those fouls on. Joe Pleasant making a living at the line tonight. He's 4 out of 7, and he has got a team high 16.
This lead, before you know it, and again, a competitive game all night long, but before you know it, a free throw make here, and the lead swells to 20, just like that. And again, that goes back to defensive play for the Wildcats. Gave up 41 to Hardin-Simmons in the first half, just 15 here almost 12 minutes deep in the second half.
And you're right, it's never really felt like a 20-point game.
That's been a competitive night all night long, and you'll hear coaches sometimes say, just go play. Don't worry about the scoreboard. We'll worry about the scoreboard in the last minute and a half. You know, let's just go play basketball. And that's kind of how this one has felt tonight. We look down at the scoreboard, and it's like, wow, this does not feel like a 20-point spread at this point, but it is.
Because a 20-point difference would just give you the perception that it's a total blowout, and it has just not once felt like that. Hardin-Simmons has played their tails off here tonight. Here is
Good
Daniels.
pass.
Great feed. And Pleasant couldn't finish. Allen does. Cleans up the mess.
Well, they'll talk about that one in the locker room. Had a chance for an assist and didn't get it. Pleasant will get a ribbing there, but good job by Allen again. Second chance points.
Could have been Daniels' fourth assist tonight. Short corner, Wooldridge.
Oh, the little conversations that we'll never know about, you know? That's what makes up the camaraderie of a team. Good shot there. Give credit to Woolridge on the shot. But that's what makes up the camaraderie of a team. And Joe Golding has been so complimentary of the camaraderie of this team. And it's conversations like that that'll probably take place.
And he's going to say, sure, you get Reggie Miller his assist right there as he hits a three. Joe Pleasant has tied his career high. He's got 20 in the game. It's a game best.
And not only that, it's now the season high for any ACU player in any game with 20.
Wooldridge, he was open underneath. Good find from Walsh as well. The lead is 21 points. Joe Pleasant's got 20. It's been a fun night in Abilene.
Want to welcome all of you here and all of you watching online on this great day in Abilene Christian University history.
I want to invite you officially to join the Southland Conference on July 1, 2013. Thank you.
As exciting as the overall prospect of going Division I was for all of the many reasons, the first thing you think about if you're a sports fan, you think basketball.
To make a jump like this to the highest level of collegiate athletics, there is a lot of excitement in this community.
Away from Mason, it'll count if it goes, it's good! It's good! Mason buries the three-pointer!
Anytime you're trying to build something, you got to get the players in place first, and you got to change the locker room and the culture. And when we've got a bunch of high-character kids and play the way we're supposed to play, the wins will come.
As excited as we were for all sports, everybody was thinking, maybe one day, March Madness, could it be? Yes! They can feel it all over ACU Nation.
There's a peek behind the curtain. Great job by our crew tonight here at Abilene. Hutton Harris leading this student-run ACU TV crew, doing a fantastic job. It's Christmas break on campus. You wouldn't know it. These guys are hard at work tonight. ACU with an 81-60 lead. Zach Carlisle alongside Andy Penny. Nothing else. It's been a really, really fun game to watch. I mean, let's throw out the 21-point difference. It's just been a fascinating game from start to finish.
It sure has. ACU starting to impose their will, and as we talked about a moment ago, it doesn't feel like a 21-point spread, but it is, and that's a compliment to ACU on the defensive end here in the second half. Hardin-Simmons with just 19 points here in the second half. What was a 6-point spread at the half has now swelled out to 21. It's been the defense, it's been the free throw shooting or getting to the free throw line for ACU with 36 attempts. That's compared to just 11 for Hardin-Simmons. You get to the line more, you make more, and that helps build a 21-point lead.
Yeah, you got Emmanuel Allen at the top of the key here for the Wildcats. Extra pass to the corner. Such a selfless group, and it's Simmons who results in a layup for the Wildcats. He's got 16.
Yeah, just the extra pass there as the defense went to cover the corner. Just the extra pass. Simmons a nice cut from top of the key to the right block. Easy finish.
This end has been so dominant for Abilene Christian in the second half. Brett Tanner, the associate head coach, really the big part of the defensive mind for ACU. That's a take to the paint. And bodies are slow to get up. It's an and one for Corian Mason. And a couple of players took a whack there at the end.
Oh, sure did. That's Quinn trying to take the charge just a little late to get there, but a lot of body contact, hit hard on the Teague center floor there, but Mason able to finish. The chance for the three-point play. The 85 points now is season high as far as points for an ACU Wildcat team. Scored 83 versus McMurray just on Saturday, but now 85 is season high. A chance for 100 tonight with 6:35 to go.
That's a putback. It's Allen for ACU, and Mason was the one who hit the deck and landed on the floor there in the Teague Center. It's a converted tennis court with just one of those mobile basketball floors that they're able to put on there. I wonder if landing on there feels a little bit different than it does at a typical place. It might not, though, for all I know, but the ball's tapped out of bounds.
I think hardwood anywhere is hardwood anywhere.
Probably, yeah. Boy, they've done a fantastic job there in that Teague Center to build this temporary home for ACU. Renovations being done to their regular facility, Moody Coliseum. They're hoping to have that done by the time next year starts. So they built this temporary place, and they've done a really good job.
Yeah, compliments to the athletic staff for what they were able to accomplish in such a short time. And it's a great environment. Been in there for a few games earlier in the season. It's a great environment.
Emmanuel Allen doing his thing. Boy, he has very quietly just come up with 8 points here in the second half for Abilene Christian, who's knocking on the doorstep of a 90-point game.
Already with 3 in double figures and 3 more with 8. Miller, Allen, and Mason all with 8 points. So a chance to get 4, 5, maybe 6 guys in double figures before the night's over.
McLaughlin tapped it, and then it goes off of Walsh out of bounds.
17 offensive rebounds tonight for ACU. The inside dominance has been there, and they've shown it in second chance points. 20 second chance points off of those rebounds.
Allen again got it back and couldn't convert. Yeah, you mentioned 17-0 boards to just 22 defensive for Hardin Simmons. They're absolutely winning on that end. Now Hardin Simmons in the half court. So we approach 5 minutes to go. Tough catch, tough play, but a foul, and that was great aggressiveness. Woldridge in there, Trey Brown too. Woldridge going to shoot free throws.
That's a nice lob pass, Cobb to Woolridge down on the inside, just doesn't finish. Or actually, Woolridge with the offensive rebound now at the offensive line, or at the foul line, offensively, chance to shoot 2.
Free throws here. First one is on the way and good. And Woldridge coming into this season, let's see, 58%, 7 out of 12 from the foul line. Been great to see that Hardin Simmons has been able to get games in so far. This is their 7th of the season. Abilene Christian playing their 8th of the year. You will expect some games to get moved around and postponed. I mean, it's almost inevitable at this point, but it's been great to see both of these teams get to play some games here before the Christmas season.
I think there's a compliment to so many in collegiate athletics on administrative staffs. Of course, the staff here, Alan Ward, athletic director, has done a great job. John Neese over at Hardin Simmons has done a great job. Sam Ferguson and McMurray, all 3 universities here in Abilene, have just done a great job working together to get games like tonight, just on the floor. You want to keep guys fresh. You want to keep them in rhythm. You want them to have game action. You can only practice so much. A game will teach you so much more about your team than maybe a practice will. And it's nice to see these universities coming together and get games on the floor.
Yeah, you get sick of playing each other, don't you? You want to see someone in a different uniform out there. It's fun to be able to put these intra-city games together too, no doubt. Here's a take and back out to Walsh, who has had a great night, 18 points. Double team, then at the shot clock buzzer, nope, they did not get it off into the hands of Cobb. Great defense out at the half-court line.
And I think, Zach, that's the first time all night long that the shot clock has even come into play tonight.
I haven't even looked at it.
First violation all night long.
4 guys with 4 fouls for Hardin Simmons, too. It's been pretty good by Cobb to not foul out of this game. He's been one with 4 fouls. That is a foul on Walsh, and he has his 3rd of the night. And Reggie Miller to the stripe for ACU.
Yeah, 4 Cowboys with 4 fouls. Brown, Cobb, Quinn, Chambliss all with 4, but nobody's fouled out. And for ACU, no real foul trouble, just a few players with 3. And all season long, only 1 player has fouled out. It was Joe Pleasant up in Lubbock against Texas Tech. That's been it. Shows you how well this team plays defense without fouling. And then again, the depth of the roster who can all play defense well.
I want to talk about ACU for a second here, too. You know, obviously 90 points tonight. They're going to face some really good defenses in the Southland Conference. But I keep telling myself, and I'm talking about this team, that's a foul on Clay Gaiman of Abilene Christian. If this team gets it going offensively to go along with that special defense, this Abilene Christian team is going to be really hard to beat in the Southland Conference.
Well, you're seeing a new dynamic tonight that hasn't been seen much. Maybe in the Austin P game early, maybe you could say against Omaha, but when the offense is needed, the offense can kick it in big time. Austin P scored 72, which is a defensive high that ACU's given up. But even on a night like that, ACU matched it with 80 and got the 8-point win. So, yeah, good to see the offense kick in gear when it needs to, and it's kicked in gear tonight.
Will Bartosik, the freshman, hitting a couple of free throws. He has had his best scoring output of the very young career of the rookie. 4 points. ACU with a 26-point lead. Final 4 minutes. Offensive look, Cameron Steele in the corner, missing a 3. Now a chance up ahead. Great acrobatic take. Uh-oh, looking like a hobble there at the end of that play, too, from Vicente.
Was a great finish. Transition offense. Really 1-on-2 by himself. Didn't matter. Got to the right side of the glass, put it up and in.
Took a couple of bounces to get down there to Steele. And they run their offensive set. Joe Pleasant, the highlight of the night, a career high 20 points for ACU. Well, what a night for Joe Pleasant, the junior out of Overland Park, Kansas, career high 20 points. Made half of his shots. He's been at the foul line a lot tonight. Definitely been the superstar for the Wildcats.
Starting to come into true form in this season. As you saw, 20 points, 7 of 14 from the floor, 1 of 1 from behind the three-point line, 5 of 8 from the charity stripe. Throw in 6 rebounds for the big man, too. At 6'8" and a junior, if he can have consistent nights like this week, 16 on Saturday, 20 tonight, ACU is going to be a force.
Tobias Cameron, free throw line, and that's good hustle and effort, but it's going to be out of bounds to Hardin Simmons in a much applauded effort of the ACU bench.
Well, 3 still in double figures as Pleasant has the 20, Simmons with 16, Cole with 12. Walsh with 18 for Hardin Simmons and 10 for Brennan. 2 Cowboys in double figures. But a few more knocking on the door for both teams.
Trey Brown, 1-on-1. Good spin. Could not get the roll, but he gets a kick out. A 3-point chance. Play game and cleans it up for ACU. The lead is 25 for the Wildcats. Gaiman was open. Thought maybe he'd pull the trigger on a 3 and instead takes it inside and has it tapped out of bounds.
Yeah, found a lane, just a pass deflected. Yeah, good defense there for Trey Brown. As ACU, their season high with 91. Hardin Simmons, though, knocking on the door as far as a season high in points allowed by ACU. That number at 72 with Austin P. So Hardin Simmons just a few possessions away from trying to top that number.
Rise and fire, long 2, Corian Mason.
Oh, it's a pretty shot. Really pretty shot there by Mason. And he now the 4th Wildcat in double figures with 10.
Substitution timeout for Joe Golding and Abilene Christian. This was a beaut.
Little shot fake, 1 dribble with the right hand, squared up, shoot it with the left. Pretty looking shot.
I got to stick up for my fellow lefties, Andy, I tell you. Abilene Christian, a unique situation. They got all kinds of them on this roster. That pass tipped and taken away by Clay Gaiman. Oh, transition. Tobias Cameron, I think, was looking for a whistle on a foul and did not get it. And it ends up in a missed layup at the other end from Bartosik. Kick out at a three, buried by Vicente, the freshman.
The Cowboys continue to shoot it well. They're just shy of 50% on the night, 25 of 53. They're 50% from three at 7 for 14. They're 12 of 15 from the line at 80%. So they've shot it well all night long, just not as many shot attempts because of turnovers and such. ACU with 66 field goals compared to Hardin-Simmons 53. And then at the foul line, it's 41 to 15.
I don't think you can give Hardin-Simmons enough credit for how they've played in this game here tonight. Vicente no good on a three-pointer. Ball out of bounds and a second chance for Hardin-Simmons with 1:20 to go here tonight. I think from what we've seen, we knew this coming in, but I think from what we've seen tonight, it just kind of emphasizes that both of these teams have bright futures this season.
Well, tonight's a win-win for both of these programs. Both of these programs walk away with quality things that they've done, things they can work on, obviously, and that's one of the major reasons why you want to play the game, besides the wins and loss. But I think both teams walk away from this thing a win-win. The travel was easy, no doubt. The competition was great. Both teams executed at a high level, and I think both teams did some things that maybe they didn't expect to do tonight successfully. That's a compliment and a win-win for both of these programs.
Peyton Brooks, the freshman out of Abilene, could not convert, but then it is a bucket at the other end, and a shoe came off the foot of Robinson.
Yeah, it looked like Gaiman stepped on his foot as Gaiman came down attempting the block.
So it's 5 points and one shoe for Jackson Robinson tonight. Now a steal, and it's Robinson again laying it in. He keeps the shoe on this time.
And that now the 73, the most points ACU has given up in a game defensively. So the most points they've scored in a game, the most they've given up defensively in a game, and still with all that said, a 20-point spree.
I mean, you could ask me if they would play this game 10 times. You would think this good of an Abilene Christian defense would not give up 73 in a game like this. And a lot of it has been Hardin-Simmons has been confident in their shots. They have shot it great, 48% from the floor, 7 of 15 from the three-point line, but it feels to me more of a positive Hardin-Simmons thing than it does a negative Abilene Christian thing.
No doubt about that. It'll be eager to see the Wildcats on the floor 6 days from now in Fayetteville. We saw how well they played at Texas Tech just over a week ago against a nationally ranked team in the Red Raiders, only losing by 7. They were one possession down with just a few minutes to go. And it'll be interesting to see the Wildcats on the road again, another quality opponent out of the SEC in Arkansas. Eager to see how the Wildcats respond in that one.
Can't wait for the rest of this season. Hardin-Simmons picked second in that American Southwest Conference. Follow that if you want really good Division III college basketball. ACU is going to let the shot clock run out here.
Great game, Zach. Enjoyed it. Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Yeah, thanks for coming aboard tonight. Holiday season is the best there is. 1.6 to go here tonight.
Wildcats take the shot clock violation. No shot. They'll just take the turnover and give it back to the Cowboys one final time.
Let's put a bow on the 2020 ESPN season for us tonight here at the Teague Center. It's a final of Abilene Christian 95 and Hardin-Simmons 73. This has been a presentation of the Southland Conference on ESPN. All games airing on the ESPN networks or streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. Until next time, Zach Carlisle, Andy Penny, the whole crew, Hutton Harris, saying so long, take care, good night from Abilene, Texas.